Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests, and my fellow learners, today I, Aryan Tiwari, stand before you as a high school student. I want to share my own transformational journey with you, a journey from procrastination to decisiveness. Picture this, it's a rainy Sunday evening, and I find myself at the brink of a major deadline for my school project. The clock is ticking, the pressure is mounting, and my heart is racing. So there I am, determined to conquer the tasks ahead. I have got my to do list, my procrastinator productivity bonanza, and whatnot. Everything is going perfectly until, out of nowhere, my dog decides that my desk is the perfect spot for a quick nap. Now, I know what you're thinking. I know what you're thinking. I know I could have gently nudged him aside. But no, procrastination had other plans for me. Instead, I found myself scrolling into an endless sea of dog sleeping positions and their hidden meanings. Fast forward an hour, and now I'm knee deep into a YouTube marathon of top 10 unexplained mysteries of the universe. And when will aliens come to India? Silly, right? But we've all been there, stuck in that endless loop of I will do it later, I work better under pressure. Spoiler alert, none of that involves why I haven't started my actual work yet. Procrastination silently preys on our mental health and productivity. The longer we delay the task, the more it takes a toll on our well being. So, one of the major reasons I used to procrastinate, I used to wait for that perfect time, that perfect opportunity. Waiting for the clock to strike 4 or 5 became a never ending cycle for me. I just wasn't able to get out of it. Fear of failure made me wait for that exclusive perfect moment, which ironically ended up becoming a barrier for me. Until later, I realized that I don't need to wait for the stars to align perfectly in order to start my task. In the midst of lockdown, yes, that's me, when the entire world was battling COVID, my routine revolved around video games and delaying tasks. During one of my mindless YouTube sessions, I stumbled upon Iman Gaji, a 17-year-old Russian immigrant with a single mother. You won't believe me. That guy was running a full fledged business at 17. At times, faith brings individuals on our own journey who share an inexplicable connection with us. This was a life changing moment for me. A realization dawned upon me that with sheer determination and perseverance, I can also accomplish big things just like him. So I started my self transformation journey tackling the procrastination monster. Not only I was able to beat procrastination, but I was able to launch a successful marketing agency and run a foreign exchange business at 17. Here are 5 strategies that worked for me. The first thing that worked for me was finding my purpose. People tend to find their purpose at the age of 25, 30, 35. Well, I was fortunate enough to find my purpose at an early age. It was a game changer for me. It made me realize that my why was more potent than any fancy productivity app or hack. Mine was to provide my family with an affluent life and accomplish my future goals of being an entrepreneur. It also made me realize that if my why is strong enough, I can figure out anyhow. The second thing that worked for me was setting deadlines. Understanding deadlines goes hand in hand with creating an accountability system. As soon as I started putting deadlines on my task, I was able to drastically boost my productivity and tap into a flow state. Let's understand this with a real life example. When we try to study at our home for 3 hours straight, it feels impossible due to constant distractions. But when we sit for our exams, we pick up the pen and boom, only 5 minutes are left. Why does this happen? This happens because due to time restriction, our brain enters into a flow state and our subconscious mind takes control and our productivity boosts. The third thing that worked for me was minimizing the entry barrier. Overcoming the initial struggle and starting was often the hardest part for me. I knew I had the ability to focus, but starting seemed like the end of the world for me. For example, if I wanted to meditate, I used to set my expectations for meditating for 30 minutes, which naturally gave my brain a reason to resist from that habit. So I applied the 2-minute rule by James Clear and started aiming for 2 minutes. And you won't believe me. Just by minimizing the entry barrier, just by minimizing the initial struggle, I was able to adopt the habit very easily because I realized once I started, it was easier to keep going. The number four thing that helped me was micro wins. Micro wins are small victories that build momentum, gradually transforming procrastination to decisiveness. Small acts like making your bed as soon as you wake up, eating your vegetables right, and reading a book before you go to bed. People often underestimate micro wins, but do not. They hold immense value as they help me get an identity shift from being a procrastinator to being a productive person. They gave me a confidence boost that I can also break through this vicious cycle of procrastination. The last but not the least thing that worked for me was removing distractions. I always thought I lacked motivation, energy, or focus. But no, what I lacked was the value of deep work. I used to pull all night sessions, but they just weren't worth it because I was on my phone the whole time. So I thought, let's create a distraction free place in my own room. Trust me, just by eliminating the triggers of distraction, just by eliminating the cues of distraction, learning became as addictive as scrolling on Instagram. Just by removing cues, I was able to drastically boost my productivity. Whenever I feel demotivated or down, I picture myself 20, 30 years down the line. I want my mirror to reflect the image of a man of honor, a successful entrepreneur, and a disciplined and decisive human being with no regrets. So I urge you all to step out of your comfort zone, break your mental limits, and embrace a life of prosperity and abundance. Trust me, be courageous and take that risk. You will thank me later. Take that risk to become the best version of yourself. I hope you all win today. Thank you.